vehicle about to be stopped in Lakepool Road, over.
This is the moment a lethal bombing campaign was stopped in its tracks. Detectives moved in to arrest 3 men on the streets of Birmingham, the city where they'd been born and raised. Men who'd become terrorists and openly admired the carnage caused by the 7/7 attacks in London. Ashiq Ali was the first suspect to be led from the car. Immediately behind him, Irfan Khalid, and finally their accomplice, Irfan Nasir, who was driving. Their ambition was to inflict even more harm with a series of suicide bombs packed with nails. They'd already got to the stage where they were experimenting with chemicals in this ground floor flat in the Spark Hill district, when police decided it was dangerous to allow them to continue. To fund their training trips to Pakistan, they posed as bogus charity workers, ripping off their own community by raising money during Ramadan.
Had it happened, it would have been, in the words of the defendants themselves, another 9/11, another 7/7. I wouldn't like to estimate how many people would have been killed, but it's obviously a massive, massive plot.
This partially burnt piece of paper contained the bomb formula, with key elements obscured. They tried to recreate the bombs they'd been taught to make in Pakistan, using urea found in a sports injury pack and directed by Irfan Nasir, a pharmacy graduate. The jury was told they would eventually have succeeded. They'd fitted blackout blinds to the ground floor flat here, but they didn't realise that an audio bug had been put inside by police who were listening to them. As they experimented with the chemicals, they were overheard talking about 7 or 8 different bombs that they wanted to make, which they were put in different places but fit with timers so that they exploded simultaneously. The plotters spoke of being taken to Waziristan, where the Pakistani army is still fighting a battle against the militants. They spent a total of 15 months abroad. At one time, they were taken to a camp and shown how to place and test explosives in the ground. When Nasir and Khalid arrived back at Birmingham Airport after a second lengthy stay in Pakistan in 2011, they were ready to put their lessons into action. Discussing the 7/7 bombs, which had killed 52 people, one of them said, "Did it go wrong or something? It didn't do that much damage." Nasir replies, "You know what? They forgot to put the nails and stuff in, man." No target or timetable was ever fixed, but today the judge said these were thoroughly radicalised men who should expect to receive life sentences.
Now, Julia, the security services are completely convinced that this was a serious plot, aren't they?
Absolutely. There is a temptation to see these men as a bit of a joke, rather dim and perhaps not capable. But the judge agreed with the detectives that that was not the case, that they had the knowledge and the determination to put their warped dreams into practice. And this disruptive practice, as they call it, going in and making early arrests, is the way they like to do it at the moment. They see an advantage in going in as soon as they have enough evidence to get a conviction in court, as they did here, rather than waiting until perhaps they have something that looks like a real bomb. It removes the would-be bombers from the street. It stops the need for a costly surveillance operation. And they will see this operation as a great success. Unlike the 7/7 bombers who had been on the security services radar but were allowed to slip through the net, in this case they found the men in Pakistan, they stuck on them, they tracked them right through to today's guilty verdicts.